Good morning, good peoples. Coming back at you with a few things here. Wanted to get these in your hands in case anybody wanted to buy them today. These are Granite YieldBoost, 4 or 5, 6 funds, right? We got a few, the QQQs, TSYY, the Spy, Tesla, Nvidia, Bitcoin, and Coney. And yeah, the Qs and the Spies, BTC, Tesla, Nvidia, and Coin base is the underlyings. All right, let's see what they paid. And then I'm also going to show you the competitive analysis against other funds. Now, some of these are very new, but I'll make it as fair as I can in that. So Tesla paid 21,707, almost 22 cents. Yield on cost of 139. Obviously, the fund is low priced. So Nvidia 99.89 cent yield on cost, paid almost 50 cents. Now these are weekly, guys. Now, I will say in certain categories, Granite will win in comparison, but often they pay a lot, even higher and better than YieldMax in its best days in a way, but they have big NAV erosion. Not all of them, not all the time, but please be aware of that. I do not like that. I call it out on, that's why I do my equal comparison. So don't just chase the yield. I bought a little Coyy. I was like, okay. But more, I bought it because I liked where Coinbase had already pulled back when I bought Coyy. And I said, oh, they're paying a lot. Of course, they're going to have NAV erosion here. But if I can get a bull streak on Coyy, then I'm okay. And I only bought a small amount. So if it runs up, I'll get out of the fund. I'm not going to sit here and let it go through a bear market and then continue to get NAV erosion. All right. So who else? Xbty paid 43 cents, 100% yield on cost. TQQY, the Q's income fund, all weekly now, guys, since June 1. I think June 6th was the actual payments, but effective June 1st, they're all weekly payers, whereas some of the older funds were monthly payers. 50% yield on cost. YSPY, their SPY fund, right? SPY 500, S&P 500, 50.16. And Coyy again paying 69,058. I mean, compare that to Coinbase. I mean, compare that to Coney. Coney sucks. I mean, it's $7 and it's paying 34 cents. This is paying 69 cents. Now, hey, I didn't say it didn't NAV erode, but you don't think Coney's not NAV eroding? How does it go from 20 to 7? Okay. So we'll show you those comparisons so you guys can all see what fund you want to own. All right. So this is a summary of these funds. Doesn't make any sense or not. I mean, it's positive. You can see what they do. Some of them been around. Their Tesla funds been around. Doesn't no Tesla funds that great has been around since that long, but it's not the best Tesla fund. So 80% erosion, total return of 12.66 because they've distributed 68.10%. So Nvidia, the 2513 launches here for YieldBoost, all right? Those are in catching positive market space. So we're talking about Nvidia giving a annualized total return of 110%, call it. It's actually got a gain loss of 2.26, right? It launched at 25.63 and it's now 26.21. Not big, but it is up some when it has distributed 25% over these same 92 days. So that's 100% annualized return. Hence the 100 and the 9 give you the 110 when it rounds. Xbty got some NAV loss from when it launched. It launched on 513, right? But Bitcoin went to new highs, but Bitcoin is well off that now. So 56.72, not bad because they're paying 91%. They don't lack paying at all. So their QQQ over 226 25, so another different date than all the other dates. So really hard to compare in the negative for total return. And your SPY, since 4/3/25, that was kind of a low. 410 was the bottom, 411. And since then, it's moved up. It's off a little now from the top, but it's still high relative. So you got a 56.43, down 10% in the fund, but they distributed like crazy, right? 67% annualized. Look at Coyy, just a monster. But this is not good, guys. I mean, it's gone from 24.76 in 15 days to 20.6. So, because they're paying excessive, right? But some people like that money and then they bank on, okay, well, it's going to get better. And you know what? If anything is going to get better like that, it's precious metals or it's BTC oriented, Coinbase, right? So, crypto and precious metals, gold, are the areas that are really likely to perform. So it's still a very high yield. I get the payments. I know they're nice. Okay, so I talked about comparing. Let's go over and take a look. So the only one that's not relevant is the MST. So I didn't even see if those are updated. I made sure everything else. So up here, I compare the Nvidia funds, right? But again, they're hard to compare when you've got, I set 3 of them to show 219 launches. Again, for you guys that don't get it, these aren't the real dates except for NVDW. So when I have a bunch of funds, I can only go back to some of them when they launch, right? And even with that, I have 2 funds that are 513 and 528 that we want to compare, right? YieldBoost and Rex. So I really want to see them in the competition, right? This is the underlying, but still, I like you to see it. So when I come down here, I leave the underlying out and I make everybody 528 because that's the newest fund. And then when you look at it, let's see, how's Nvyy doing? Well, it's actually in 4th place, but a close 4th place with a couple 140s, 121, and paying like crazy, right? It's got the least gain because of NAV, right? But got the highest payout percentage. So you want the money, you want the income coming in, this guy's going to pay you, all right? But right now, Rex is the winner. Rex won up here, and they're still winning down here with 203% total return. Again, we're only talking 85 days, guys, and nothing else you can do to go there. So it's a monster 650, right? And Nvidia is one of these 3, right? I mean, really, first place by far is Rex, then Round Hill, then close third is Nvidia, and then a little bit further back is your 4th. All right, so that it shows you that they can do okay, but all of these funds, all the income funders, centered around performing really well. And you have to understand the trade-off of getting more income versus capturing more of the upside. So everybody's experimenting with that methodology. I don't write as many calls. I don't do this. I don't do that. I use leverage on my swap. So when it does run, I capture a lot more of that run. So it's exciting. And that's what I'm doing. I'm showing you where the rubber meets the road and how they really end up. And that's what you need. All this other crap that some of the people spiel out there, it's just fanboyism, right? You got to look through that, okay, and find out what you want to do. Do you want to be a loser or do you want to be a winner? Well, winners pay attention to their total return. They don't just hope. You don't wish and hope because the market is brutal. It'll bite you. It'll chew you up. Okay. So Tesla, how do the Tesla funds look? Well, we can look at everybody at 219 except for Rex, right? Because YieldBoost, that's the thing I'm doing, was around in those days. So is it really fair to say that Rex is a winner when you're looking at, no, it's not, right? You see some with the same date, like who's the worst NAV? Well, TSYY. But who won on distribution? Who's the highest distributor? TSYY, right? And you'd expect Tesla to be up there in yielding, but they're not, at 11%. They only beat, they're still behind, what, two funds, one fund. All right, so let's skip past that because we got an anomaly where we can't compare somebody who's doing well. Let's make them all 6-4. So here's our Tesla fund. Oops, Tesla. What? You're just paying so little, you're hurting yourself. All right, -5. You've gone negative. TSLP is negative curve, right? But Tesla has been a tough fund as an underlying to do that well. The stock hasn't done that well. I suspect with all of this negativity that the future will certainly change for it. So, do I want to be in a TSYY? Could be. If it's in a bullish environment, it looks to be the place to be. Look at this. They're all 6-4. It's just kicking butt and taking names, 118%. Okay. Yeah, it had 78% loss, but that's what I'm talking about. When everybody else over here, only two funds are positive, Rex and YieldBoost. And it's significantly, it's 2.5 times what Rex is doing. All right, so MS is not relative, but coin is, okay? These are the Rex payouts. By the way, guys, at Patreon, if you want additional stuff, you've always said, I wish Bruce would do that or would do that. That's the place. I'm behind a paywall over there. It's very expensive. My low tier is $5 a month. I have a $10 tier, and the third tier is much more expensive, but you get 45 minutes of a consultation one-on-one and specialized email back and forth and things you need. Okay. So that's my priority group. I have some great people in there already. I've got 67 members already in my Patreon with only being up about a week, maybe 8 days. So I'm really thrilled with that. I was always wondering why. There's got to be more people that want to see this metal stuff, and you guys all know I'm bullish on that. And I really want to see the income funds. And what did I do today? I put out an income fund, another one that one of my, not Patreon, one of my Discord guys told me about. I can't find them all, Amplify. They've got a silver ETF. They're known for SILJ for the last 10, 11 years. Great fund, right? 1.2 billion assets under management in that fund, but they're not that much of a marketers. I didn't get anything. I didn't receive anything. I've been looking, Googling AI and, for all that stuff. And somebody told me, hey, it launched on Tuesday. So it's traded for 2 days now. I just did a detailed video on that. Check it out. All right. So let's finish with Coyy, Coney, all of them, right? The coin-based competitors. So we got some of the same problem. I was able to make everybody a 5-2 and leave Coyy a 6-4. And then I came along and said COYI, and then I got to look at COYY. Cool. So I'm throwing them down here, but it's not fair to compare them in any kind of way in such a short period of time. But at least you have some data on them, and eventually it'll be competitive. I'll move it to 729, and it'll be October or November, and then we can really see where the rubber meets the road. All right, so with this scenario, who's, the underlying, right? But we don't care about the underlying because I do, but a lot of people don't. They're like, okay, I need income. So I make sure I look at it from that perspective for you guys. So let's see how Rex, normally Rex does really well. Oh yeah, but they're 6-4. So again, we got to come down here to adequately compare them, right? Right now, Roundhill is winning this thing because coin doesn't count. 200% total return when looking at 5-2 dates. All right, so let's go quickly to 6-4, and then I'll just mention Coyy, but it just launched 23 calendar days ago. All right, so how do we look here? Everybody's 78 days, ignore Coyy for the moment. Well, your winner is iCoyy. Why? Because they had that massive, look at this, $9 plus $4, okay, in the 78 days. They should be getting close to another payment. But still, that's $13.24. An annualized rate is only based on 78 days, 250%. So they're paying like a monster. They're declining. But then so is this. Look at this. 23 days worth of payments. They paid $2.99. So that would give them over $9. That would give them about $9.60. So they'd be higher than anybody else except for Coyy. But can Coyy sustain that? You know, bitwise. We had that same thing with some of their other funds with that big massive payment in their MS, whatever they call theirs. So, you know, you have to give these time to sort out and watch them in the market. So that's what I'm trying to do here. But I got to show you Coyy because it's paying like a monster, but it's declining a lot. But even given that right now, it's succeeding. But I'm watching that. As I said, if I thought it was going to be a flat market for quite a while, I'd sell my COYY. I'm not going to decline more and get false payments. But if it goes on a bull move, then it doesn't capture a lot of it, but it'll pay me like a pig. So I'm okay on that sometimes. Again, you mix and match, guys. When you have market experience and time, you understand these. But the worst thing you can do is buy and hope. You know, you get in one of these funds, you see this massive, you know, decay in the NAV, and you keep telling yourself, yeah, but I'm getting paid every week and I like that. Well, after a year, your total return's like minus 15. Shit, put it in T-bills and just borrow some of the money. I mean, they're eating your money up and paying you back, and then you're still losing money on top of that. So it's foolish, guys. Understand money. I mean, you know, there's a saying, and I can't think of it now, about how smarter people take money from dumb people, you know, and it's so true. I mean, the public is massively dumb. I mean, I catch myself looking at a yield and go, "Oh my gosh," you know, because I've been doing it. But then I remind myself before I do that. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. The markets are about to start. I'm busy. I've been doing too many videos today. I need some market time and some relaxing time, my evening over here, so I can wind down a little bit. All right, guys, this is Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Bye for now.